Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It is probably much nicer in the Dominican Republic today than it is right here in St. Louis.
It's snowing.
But it's cozy in the studio. Our favorite liturgical artist, Kelly Schumacher of Agnus Liturgical Art in studio this morning. Good morning, Kelly.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome back to the States.
Thank you.
And you recently took a trip, short-term mission to the Dominican Republic. What prompted this trip? What were you seeking to do or serve in the Dominican Republic?
Sure. Well, Cheryl Nauman, I had met her on a trip in Italy that we had taken with a bunch of Lutherans. And I know.
Just a trip with a bunch of Lutherans to
whatever.
Italy.
A clan of Lutherans. No, that's kind of the wrong accent. No, we were out there and I met her and her husband and I was like, aw, they're cute. And I just, yeah, you met them. You're just like,
I know
aw,
them,
you guys are so cute. Anyway, so, lost touch for a few years, as you do. And then, I guess I heard through the grapevine that she was going to contact me to do some short-term missions, a short-term mission trip with art. And I thought, ooh, that sounds cool. And so we were trying to coordinate me heading out and doing a painting and, spend quite a bit of time coordinating. And that's kind of what happened. I hope that answered the question.
We'll dig deeper.
We got some more time, like 10 minutes. What did you expect going into this trip? What did you expect to learn or do or anything?
I had very few expectations. Like I had some requirements put on me, such as I needed to do some sort of painting with a religious theme for their Mercy Center. And then I also was going to teach about the theology and use of liturgical art to seminary students. And then I taught 2 classes to the missionary children, and then I taught 4 classes to the local children in the school. So I had all of that needed to be put together. But as far as my expectations of the trip, it was very different. I actually was like, oh, I'm going to have to learn how to live with less. And I didn't really feel like I was living with less. The only thing that was the expectation is, I needed to wash my fruit and vegetables and I couldn't put toilet paper in the toilet. And so it's just, you had to be extra clean. So I was expecting those things on the trip. TMI. So
I think other missionaries have talked about that too.
Yeah.
Doing those trips, but that's a different program.
Yes.
This piece of art, and I know you shared. I believe you shared it, or the missionary Facebook page shared it. So if people want to see that is on Facebook. But tell us a little bit more about the painting.
Sure. Well, before I came to the DR, I've just been really hooked on this theme of Jesus with children, and I thought, well, maybe we should just do that, because I felt like a lot of the other biblical stories or parables or things might be kind of complicated. And I thought, well, for my first piece, if they're actually taking me there, I should do something fairly large. And I thought, well, let's just keep it really simple. Let's just do Jesus with a lot of children in the landscape. And let's see, Cheryl picked out a young man from the hardware store. His name was Odales. And even though he's not what we would typically think Jesus would look like, if you ever spent like a minute with him, you'd be like, this man is so peaceful. He just kind of like radiated this like watery peacefulness around him. And you're just like, oh, this is nice. And then the children were children from the local school, and Pastor Poyce was there, and he was joking about, like, can we divide them into sheep and goats? And I was like, oh my goodness, you silly person. But no, that was kind of how the piece was put together. And then there was a landscape that was out of the window that I was working from every day. So the theme is pretty much the idea of that Jesus is welcoming all of us into his family. And I really wanted to use the local people because it's a gift for them. And I thought, if I'm in the States or I'm using, people that look like ice, it's just not the same. It's a little, it could work, but I just think it's really cool that people will be able to look at that painting, and even when they're older, they say, oh, there's me. There's... I was about to say Susie, but Susie is not a Dominican name. So be like, there is Jose, or I don't know, someone like that. Carlos.
So how long were you in the Dominican Republic?
1 month.
1 month. Wow. So was this a daunting task? I mean, it sounds as an artist, you have 1 month to meet people and to create this art. It's my understanding, I'm not an artist like you all, but it's my understanding that it takes some time to create art that has such great meaning to it. So was this overwhelming?
Very. It was a 40 by 50 inch piece. Wow. And I was not sleeping as much as I needed to. And I kind of and that was kind of something I had to learn, was like, all right. And I wasn't able to do the level of detail that I typically like to do. And so it was a challenge because I had to kind of let go of some of the things I wanted and realize, regardless, this has to be done. It doesn't have to be as perfect as you always want it to be. But also realizing that it's important for me to, have balance and take care of myself in order to actually do my vocation. That was a big lesson that I had to learn. So it was daunting.
This is a fantastic idea. Like liturgical artists on a mission. Have you heard of other people doing something like this, or is this a historical practice that I'm unaware of? Like liturgical artists going on a mission. I think we should be starting something new here. This sounds like a new
pioneers?
Trend. Pioneers.
We need a little bonnet.
I love this idea. We have just about 3 minutes left.
Oh, no.
Anyone else that you met you mentioned the people who served as subjects for your painting. Anyone else you met while you were on this trip?
Oh my goodness,
stories that you want to share in 2 minutes or less.
I got to know the missionary kids really well. I got really close with the Cray family while I was down there. Oh my gosh,
they're a fun family.
They're so fun. And there was this little boy, Andre. We sat next to each other. We got along. But I was just I really loved being with the missionary kids because I got to spend time with them, and they were so creative and they were so theologically deep. So yeah, that's part of the people that I met. And there's many more. I'm just trying to think of the most because we're on a time limit.
Yeah, we are. Do you have a favorite memory or two of being there? Yeah,
well, I would say the one memory that impacted me the most is there was a family that was friends with the Naumans, and he was the Uber. He was like an Uber driver, but they befriended him and he converted to Lutheranism. But he and his wife had a baby, and they invited me over to their house for dinner, and it's the state soup is called sancoche, and this isn't like Thanksgiving soup. This is like it's soup for special people. So they spent all day making this soup with like 4 different kinds of meat and all these different tuber vegetables. And they just like gave their hearts in this. And we're eating this at a table. At the table, you can't lean on it because it's like broken. And they were like, here's the biggest bowl because we want to show how thankful we are for you. And I was like, and they're just like, keep eating. And it's just like, it was something that just blew my mind. It was those small details of here, you get the seat with the most room. You get the seat with the best chair. You get the best bowl. Eat more meat, and I was like, oh, it's, what is it? Is it soup? It's soup sopa?
Yeah,
so. It was like sopa de amor. I was like, love soup.
So it sounds like certainly a trip that you will never forget. But 2, that you went to serve with the gifts that you've been given by creating beautiful art to serve them. But you came back with a lot of memories as well.
Definitely.
Are you going to share more stories about the trip on Youth Day Arts?
I could.
Yeah, I was curious. And you see
now
on
that
your
you
social
ask.
media too. I saw some pictures on the Agnus Dei Arts Facebook page, obviously too. So, well, thank you so much, Kelly, for being a part of the
Thank you.
coffee hour, and so glad to have you back. Glad that it was a wonderful trip, and blessings. Find out more at agnusdeiarts.com. Right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that does it for the coffee hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.